Я подписываю 10 приезжаю на стройку. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Season 4 of the Talking Lead AK KORNER, proudly presented by Century Arms.
And then the third pin threads. Is this the right website, Klay? Looks like it. That's
Yes, sir.
Kalash Bash right there.
Yeah, you can actually pick up event shirts there if you didn't show up last year.
On sale, too. Wait a year and you get a discount. Wow.
Yeah, they need to go.
Makes my shirt look cheap.
We'll give it a plug when we get on here and remind people that they can go there and get those on sale because they'll probably sell
Don't
out.
focus on the fat kid sitting on the table there. You don't have to show them.
All right, AK heads, we are back with the 4th edition of the Season 4, the AK Corner, presented by Century Arms. And unfortunately, we don't have any representatives from Century Arms on today. We tried, but they're busy, and we'll get them on the next episode. But they are going to put up another 10-pack of the U.S. Palm mags for you listeners that participate in our questions that we have. And we've got some other cool prizes and giveaways that we're going to be doing toward the end of the show, too, as we take your listener questions. This episode, I thought it would be fair play because we did last year. We had the organizers of the what's that red one called?
Red October?
Yeah, that's it. Red October. You know what it is.
Out west.
Yep.
Out west. And I didn't go to that one, by the way, but I did go to this one last year. I did go to Kalash Bash, Texas, and I thought it was a very well-organized event, and it was fun. Everybody there was like, it seemed like they were family. There was no strangers at this event, and I want the guys to talk about it. So I've got the organizers of Kalash Bash on with us today to talk about the event, and it's coming up toward, was it October? Is that when it's coming?
Yep, October 8, 9.
October
That's
8,
correct.
9. There you go.
Second week in October.
So you've got some time, Leadhead, so if you want to take part in that, but we're going to tell you all about it today, how it came to be, and what you can expect this year. So joining me is the Kalash Bash team. Klay Owens, introduce yourself to the Leadhead Brigade.
Everybody, my name's Klay. Thanks for having me. All the social media platforms, if you do want to find me, it's all under KBTX, spelled with a K, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and happy to be a part of this awesome event, man.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I can't wait to talk about it. And you went black again for some reason, just so you know. You're not visible again. And,
I haven't changed anything, sorry.
And are you in Texas?
Yeah, just about an hour north of Houston.
Okay, good deal. And then also organizers of Kalash Bash, and I know our listeners are familiar with this company, Dissident Arms. We've got Lan and Mike joining us. Lan, welcome. Mike, welcome.
Thanks for having us, Lefty.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're glad to share some information about Kalash Bash and tell your listeners a little bit about Dissident Arms.
Oh yeah, this is going to be good, and we want to learn about Dissident Arms as well. So we're going to talk about that. Yeah. Now, where are you guys located?
We're about 45 minutes north of Houston as well.
Okay, so you down there in Texas too?
Yeah, we're not too far from Klay, and so that's kind of how we became partners in Kalash Bash, because we're local to one another and wanted to expand AK shooting opportunities to others, so to speak. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. And then we've got a special guest, fresh from the ocean, or are you from the bush? I don't know.
Depends on the season. Neil, that depends on.
Second time guest on the show, we've got our good friend Neil Vermillion join us. Neil, welcome in.
Thank you for having me again. I don't have any relation to the Kalash Bash crew outside of shooting it the last 2 years and having an absolute blast. So yes. I will help plug them as much as possible because it is a legit fun event.
Well, I've got two selfish reasons, that being one why I wanted you on, and then also you made a post recently on your social medias of this concoction that you had built, and we want to talk about this AK bullpup monstrosity that you have.
Yeah, the we can get into that more in a little bit, but basically, if you look at the world right now, Ukraine has built, I can't remember what they call it, but they have a domestically produced bullpup, and then in Syria for the last 6 to 8 years, I want to say, they've been making locally manufactured 74 and 47 bullpups, and I was kind of looked at it and was like, I need one of those for my collection because it is now becoming a war history piece, even though we all know that it's a terrible idea and they don't shoot for shit. But man, they're cool.
They look cool as shit. Yeah, absolutely. So you had one made.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going to talk about that, and for our video audience, he's gonna show it to us and talk about it. But talking about that, the Ukraine war that's going on over there. Ukraine and Russia, or the world against Russia, or however it is, whatever's actually happening, who knows? We have seen a variety of weapons that they're using over there. Have you guys been keeping up with the war that's going on over in Ukraine?
For the most part, I mean, not in not in everyday detail.
Yeah, you're not like on the edge of your seat keeping up with it, but.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to happen, but at the same time, I mean, it's been interesting to pay attention to it. Plus, interested in some of the weapon systems, and so to speak.
Right, and that's kind of why I've been, keeping up with it, is because I'm always watching the footage in the background to see what I can see. What kind of rifles and pistols and kit and gear that they're using. What about you, Klay?
It's cool seeing that turn of the century guns are still being fielded and are still very deadly today. I mean, we're seeing everything from Mosins to Stinger missiles all on the same battlefield, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But politically, I try to kind of keep my mind off of it.
Yeah, and I didn't want to talk about it politically at all. It's more of, because being gun nuts like we are, we watch that, and that's what we're noticing. We're noticing.
It is.
What
you
they're
think
carrying.
about it as someone who's there. I bet there are a bunch of gun nuts who are currently fighting that war, and they're seeing things they've probably never seen before. I'm sure Neil can attest to that. I know, he's a combat vet. That's got to be an interesting part of battle, is coming across guns that you've never seen before, and maybe scoring yourself an upgrade, which we're seeing quite a bit of.
Yeah, some of the pictures that we've seen, it looks like the 74s that the civilians are getting are like fresh, crisp out of the box. But then you're seeing others that look like they're, 50 years old. So it's like you said, you're getting a good variety of history there, as Neil was kind of pointing out. I mean, this is history. We're seeing history right now.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing like Klay was saying, I'm always in the Gaunt right next to a dude with a AK-12 with a thermal sight on it. You're like, those could not be farther apart in time than, obviously someone's been alive long enough to see both of those, but like, that's just, it's 2022. You'd think a 100-plus-year-old rifle would no longer be used.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all of a sudden, AK-12 battlefield pickups. So
yeah, lots of those. I wait for those parts kits to start coming into the country.
Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy how much how much hardware that the Ukraine forces and the Russians share, and that's the reason why they have to mark friendly fire, and why they have the marks all over their vehicles and on their arms, is because they literally look like the same units.
Yeah, that's a good point. So our good friend James Yeager went over there to do some training. I don't know if you guys know who James Yeager is with Tactical Response. He just got back like within the last couple of days or something like that. Haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, but he was making some posts and talking a little bit about it as much as he could while he was over there. But that's going to be interesting too, to hear about. And I read something today, I believe it was, that there's actually a lot more Americans over there, boots on the ground, than they're actually reporting, doing kind of the behind the scenes, the puppet masters, doing the training and all that, which I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, that's pretty much how all wars are fought these days. So there's it's all on the news, and then what's not on the news is it's all in the background. But there's really no full frontal wars anymore. Just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the NGO that I was part of when I fought with the Peshmerga against ISIS is over there right now. And they tried to, when I was coming back from Alaska, they were like, hey, you want to come with us? And I was like, I already promised my mom I won't go. So I'm out of this one, guys. Sorry.
And we were talking off air before we started recording, Neil, and are you going to change your Instagram name now? Because you're no longer an accountant, so you can't be the combat accountant.
So I'm no longer the accountant, so the combat accountant doesn't really apply, but I don't think the combat fisherman quite has the same ring to it.
I like it. Yeah, it does.
So,
the combat crabber.
I'm trying to come up with something that's a little applicable, but
the combat crabber.
There you go. Actually, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I see shirts in your future. I see a whole branding thing going on there.
I'm actually kind of working on something like that in the background.
So tell us. So you retired from the accounting industry and you did something completely unrelated. You say you went to Alaska? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So I'm originally from Alaska. I live in Arizona now, and I was a commercial fisherman years ago when I got out of the Army, so about 12 years now. And my old crew reached out and he was like, hey, I need a guy for crab season. I was like, when? He goes, Friday. And this was the Friday or Saturday before. And I was like, I could use a little bit of change. So I talked to my bosses to obviously make sure that I wasn't going to put them in a lurch because that's not a 2-week notice. My CEO was my best friend growing up, so I didn't want to screw her over. And it was end of the year, right before tax season.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine like the worst time possible for one of your most senior people to leave. And she was like, yeah, we'll make it work. My workload happened to, I can offload some stuff and I got everything done I needed. And I bombed back up to Alaska and I was there for about 6 weeks doing, we fished for barredeye crab, which is also known as tanner. And then we drag for cod, and then we come back for a little bit, and I'll go back up for salmon season this summer.
So is it like you see on the TV?
Yep.
So it's just like that?
I need to own stock in Dramamine because out of the last 12 years, I learned I get seasick. I don't like seafood, and I don't like the cold. I've been in Arizona for too long, so I'm literally the worst fisherman that you could possibly get. But I really like the paycheck, so I'll continue to go do it.
That's what I hear. I hear it's really good pay.
Yeah. And I could work 5 months out of the year and take 7 months off and shoot and travel and, do all that kind of cool stuff. So
nice.
The means to an end.
Are they hiring?
Always. Dude, they were like, I guess the guys did such a good job during salmon season that you can also do Dungeness crab. And guys killed it so much that nobody wanted to work this winter. So there was literally guys that could not go fish cod and could not go fish crab where you're making $2,000 a day. They couldn't find guys to go do that. Shit. I was like, hey, I got some friends I can call. They might die on this boat, but they'll come up.
Yeah. As soon as my hip gets rehabbed, I'll give you a call.
You just got to make sure you're good with -40. That's as cold as it gets. My mustache froze. Like, that's a real thing.
I'm sure we could find a sponsor for that. We'll get a sponsor for that and do the podcast on the crabbing boat.
That would be interesting.
Well, that's cool. That's cool, definitely. So I'm happy for you. I think I don't know. You may have loved being an accountant. I don't know. It just sounds like the most boring job in the world to me. I've got a friend whose wife is an accountant, and just like you said, that whole tax season time is just never even see her.
Yeah, and the job itself is boring, but and now that I'm out of it, I can kind of tell the community. So I was a cannabis accountant, so I worked in the gray area of the legalization of weed, and that in itself was super fun because it's nobody knows what to do, so you kind of make up the rules as you go. It's like really, so the IRS gives us a little guidance, and then we kind of just run with it.
Yeah.
Pay us monthly. That's their guidance, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pay us monthly. That's all they want.
It was weird watching. I had a client lost $90,000 in cash and didn't care.
Just lost it.
They made that tomorrow. And I was like, well, the IRS cares, so find it.
So they just misplaced $90,000 and.
Yeah.
I bet that happens a lot in that industry.
I was like, where did I go wrong where I can't misplace $90,000? If I misplace $9, I'm pissed.
Exactly. If I overpay $9, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Very cool. So we're happy for you, and maybe we'll get you on and we'll do a whole like fishing show, and we'll talk about get you on the regular show and talk about that.
I'm down.
So Dissident Arms.
Yep.
Lan and Mike. Talk about how you got started, how you got into the industry.
We found our way into the industry through competition shooting, essentially. We kind of got into guns, like in general, like the general sense of guns in 2011 and 12. And then we noticed a thing called Three Gun Nation on TV in 2012.
Yeah.
And that kind of like spurred our interest in actually not just collecting firearms or range shooting, but shooting them, with a purpose, so to speak, in a competition setting. And once we shot our first competition, that kind of just spawned, a desire to become a better shooter. And then that kind of like rolled into working on your own guns. And then, our connection to the AKs was through AK shotguns. So in 3-gun, the AK shotgun is the best platform by which to shoot a box-fed magazine shotgun. And so that right there was kind of how the AK connection started. And then for us, that's kind of where we've carved out a niche in the industry is with AK-based shotguns. And then that's expanded now into, a lot of other things, because this is now what we do full time for the last, 3 years or so. But, we were literally just two dudes on the couch, that got into guns. And
two dudes
like,
eating Doritos.
Yeah, so all the guys at the gun stores, they would always talk about shooting guns, but they would never shoot them. And so we saw the competition and then ended up going to one, and that was quite a mental battle. But once we did it, we were super hooked, and the rest is history, so to speak. But this is all we do.
What did you do prior to that? What was your background? Were you doing the competition shooting prior to that, or was the 3-gun nation the kind of the thing that really got you interested and into it?
That was it. Three gun was the first thing as far as shooting is concerned. Before I started, or we started Dissident Arms, I worked at a brass sorting facility. So I'd go out and buy brass from different ranges and stuff like that. And I was also a partner in a safe installation, gun safe installation and sales business too. So
okay,
nothing really related.
But kind of you were indirectly into the firearms industry.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did high-end real estate photography. And once I got into shooting competitions, I was flying to a match, in about every month. And so all I could think about was shooting another match. And we got into building guns, and then eventually, that's rolled into getting our own FFL, and then just, diving in deeper and deeper and deeper. And then, the shotguns is really was our angle into AKs themselves. Now we have a really deep passion for AKs in general.
Right.
And in 3-gun, we don't use a lot of AK rifles. There are some guys that do. The Galil Ace is an option that would actually be quite competitive. But with Kalash Bash, we're bringing our love for the competition and competition shooting to the AK community, which is something that is a very new thing. There's a ton of 2-gun matches and carbine matches and other black rifle matches, but not really AK centric. And so, obviously there was Red October, but
there's a couple smaller ones scattered throughout the country.
And we wanted a legitimate AK competition, and that's what we've been trying to work on the balance between super new shooters and those that have never shot any type of competition at all, let alone a major match.
Yeah. And I want to get into that. I want to talk about the history of the Kalash Bash, but I want to learn more about Dissident Arms. Hold on just a second. Right. So when you're watching the 3-gun nation, the competition, and did you guys compete in that as well?
We did. I mean, we still do. Lan and I travel. We just did 4 majors in 4 weeks, so we've been on the road about 2 weeks out of the last 4 weeks we've been on the road shooting competition.
Is Three Gun Nation still a thing? Like the actual Three Gun Nation? I don't think they're doing TV anymore, but is
no
that organization's been dissolved pretty much.
I thought it
There's
was
a bunch of they call them outlaw matches, and then there's other organizations like USPSA has a multi-gun match that we just went to, the Nationals. So we shoot all sorts of matches and all of the different organizations involved. So we just like to shoot. Basically.
Yeah, like 4 weeks ago, we were at Neil's backyard at his home range, like basically there in Arizona for the Superstition Mystery Mountain 3-gun, which is one of the longest standing, most well
I've heard it's awesome.
Matches in the country. Yeah. And then that kind of kicked off our season, so to speak. And then we went, we had a match here in town, Big Tex next, wasn't it? Yeah, Big Tex multi-gun, which was a first-year 3-gun match local to us. And then out to South Carolina for USPSA multi-gun nationals, which they don't do a ton of multi-gun under the USPSA flag or banner, so to speak, but that is their national level multi-gun event.
Right.
And then we went back out east for
Battle for the South,
which was another first year match. We try to support a lot of matches because that's how we meet customers. It's how we sell guns. The more matches there are, the more the reason there is to buy competition grade.
More hands you can get them in, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, we love to shoot, honestly. I mean, building guns is amazing, but it's really the vehicle by which we do what we love, which is competing, at a high level. And then, we sell a lot of guns to customers, but we want to actually beat them with the firearms and not beat us. Yeah, Neil's a great customer, by the way.
There's one of your customers right there.
And a hell of a shooter. Yeah.
So when you're, when you first got exposed to the 3-gun and then the AK-12, 12-gauge AK-47, what was your first one? What were you using in competitions? And what made you think I could make this better?
So my very first box fed shotgun was like not a competition oriented box gun. It was like more like the age of the quad rail zombie killer with a big DNA collector on the end, because I hadn't quite got gotten the 3-gun angle yet. It was just guns at first.
Right. And
then so my very first box gun was just a Sega, Rock and Lock Sega that was I'd actually hired a local gunsmith to put together. And it just left a lot to be desired, so to speak. And it wasn't a competition oriented gun. And the Vepr 12 hadn't been imported yet. And I'd seen online that you could buy them on a pre-order, and I ended up pre-ordering 2 of those guns, and that ended up being my first AK box-fed gun to use in 3-gun, so to speak, because it came with a magwell system on it already. So that's kind of what the genesis of it was.
Yeah, most of the AK-based shotguns that were used in 3-gun at the time that we started, they weren't that good, to be honest with you. So it left a lot to be desired, and it kind of created that void that we needed to get started. So, I mean, Mike had 2 different shotguns by 2 different manufacturers or custom builders, and we ended up like tearing them completely apart on the kitchen table and then reworking them so that they did work. And then we saw little, gaps with like sight bases that weren't robust enough for what we do.
Right.
We saw mag systems or magwell systems that really didn't have a good retention system and stuff like that. And so, we made improvements to that. And I think that's where, we really took off, is because we were able to provide a product that was reliable and that people would, saw worth the money, essentially, to buy and get into the open division. Because open division used to be a bunch of old men, to be honest with you, that were losing their eyesight, needed red dots on all that stuff, and it wasn't the go fast division.
Yeah.
But now it's really become like the F1 side of competition. It's it's flat out racing, man. It's
what
awesome.
would you say is the most innovative design concept that you've come up with for the AK-12?
Internal choke system. Yeah. We partnered with a local company called Briley Manufacturing. They're well known. They're over 40 years of chokes, chokes for sporting clays, hunting, and all that stuff. And so when we started shooting, we got sponsored, quote unquote, by them. And then Mike basically used his sponsorship to develop that system with them. And he can elaborate on that.
Yeah, Riley pioneered the fed wall choke technology for shotguns. So internal chokes that were installed in all kinds of shotguns that never came with chokes originally. So they didn't have standard Winchester choke or Remington choke or other mobile chokes and other chokes that exist out there. There's a ton of shotguns that didn't come with chokes originally. And so Briley pioneered thin wall choke technology. And then when we went to them really early on to add some technical expertise to some of what we knew the platform needed, which was purpose-built parts. And then just somebody to actually refine the product, refine the manufactured product from Russia. I mean, it's a really robust platform, but it just hasn't been refined at all. It's not hand fit. Yeah. It's put together in an industrial setting, and it's a military grade firearm meant to shoot military ammunition.
It was made for peasants and, to go to war and easy, simple usage.
And low capacity magazines, so 10 rounds and less, with really heavy ammunition. And so in our game, we want to shoot light ammunition through super big mags as fast as you can with as least amount of recoil. So it's like a big mountain to climb, but at the same time, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, you guys have definitely souped them up. There's no doubt about it. Just looking behind you there at some of the designs that you got going on back there, it's just, I got a boner going right here. It's awesome. Now, Neil, are you using one of their 12 gauges?
I am, yeah. I picked up the KL12 Elite. Funny enough, I'd never shot 3-gun. I've never owned a shotgun outside of a Pump 870. And I was talking to Matt Kitzmiller, one of their guys back when he was a local shooter for me.
Yeah, he's been on before.
And I was like, do I do the Dissident top of line, or can I scrape by? And he had a great analogy, and this will be for people, I think, I haven't told you guys this. And he goes, if you've ever rode a motorcycle, right, you buy a 600, and 3 months later, you wish you bought 1,000. Right. And Matt's a bike guy. And I was like, hey, bro, break it down. He goes, bro, Elite all the way. It's a leader bike. You're never gonna need another gun. And I was like, done. So I bought it. And this is the key thing to that also that Mike and Lan always harp on is follow the instructions that they send with the gun if you want it to work. If you use shit ammo, if you don't clean it, you don't lube it, you're going to have issues.
You're not going to get results. Yeah.
The amount of guys at Superstition that had that happen, I was like, what kind of ammo are you using? Like, oh, I didn't clean it, or I did this, and I was like, there you go. And I was like, I was just trying not to send them to you guys because I was like, you're going to tell them the same thing.
Yeah. What about you, Klay?
Oh, I like to get down at the competition from time to time. That's kind of how I got started. Mm-hmm. If you want to hear that story, it all ends up leading into the really cool way that I actually met Mike and Lan years after getting into.
Let's hear how you got into the competition shooting. Yeah, absolutely. I wish we could see you though.
Yeah, I don't have any guns to show. I'm in a hotel room in Victoria, Texas, so nothing to show.
Yeah, but you had a cool hat.
Oh yeah. Well, I bought a bunch of AKs. I got really hardcore into AKs at one time, and had a couple arsenals. This was back when, arsenals were $1,100 at your local gun shop. These were some glory days of AKs. This is circa 2016. And one day I'm eating lunch, sitting at my desk one day with my homie Chris, and we find a video of Jim Fuller talking about this thing called Red October that was like 7 months away at that time. And, I knew who Jim Fuller was. He's like the godfather of AKs in this country. And he's talking about this thing that people are going to make this pilgrimage to all shoot AKs. And me and Chris kind of slap each other. We're like, nah, it sounds cool, but we'd never drive all the way to Utah to do that. And man, for 3 months, I watched that same video on my lunch break, and I finally just spent the money, took the time off, drove 22 hours straight, didn't sleep, to Red October the first year with my arsenal, with a Condor chest rig, work boots with steel toes, looking like a jabroni, had no clue what I was doing, 5'11" tactical pants that were 3 sizes too big. I've got the video. It's terrible. And somehow finished top 25. But I remember coming away from that so inspired to meet more people that were into AKs because, I mean, dude, I've been raised around FUD guns my whole life. My dad raised me on wheel guns, lever actions, pump actions, and, you know, you're around a certain kind of guy when that's all you see. So here I see all these dudes that are LARPing with AKs. I didn't even know people like that were into guns. I had no idea about that subculture. And we come back and start an Instagram and start shooting matches like 3 times a month. We fought a bunch of local carbine matches, and we started just slaying these. These are just small outlaw carbine matches, nothing to the scale that these 3 gentlemen get down on. But we were doing really well, and I thought, man, no one gives any love to AKs at competitions. You like it's just ARs and Glocks everywhere you see. And I fell more in love with the platform, more in love with the people that got down with an AK, and I went to Red October another year, and our Instagram started blowing up, and we started a YouTube channel, and that started to gain a little success just from us out shooting AKs. Anyway, long story short, we just screw around on social media for years, and then I ended up meeting my business partner, Tony Hetty. He owns Kyber Customs. He's the other part of Kalash Bash that couldn't be here today. He's learning how to 3D print. You know,
that's pretty important. Seeing how the government's getting ready to shut that down.
Absolutely. And just, you know, like rapid prototyping, it's going to be a good thing. But I meet him totally at random at a little AK Files meet. Shout out to those people who know what AK Files are. Some of the jabronis from that basically dark web forum got together at a range, and we started shooting. I meet Tony, figure out he's with Kyber Customs. I thought that was cool. And he ended up coming to competitions with us and helping us make videos. And man, Instagram just really started to blow up, and a lot of people started to pay attention to what we were doing. One day, Tony tells me about these 2 guys that make these badass race Vepr 12s, Dissident Arms. He's like, dude, you got to see these guys. And we hang out with them a few times. I think if memory serves, I think you guys came out to like one of our 4th of July shoots or something, back when we had like small gatherings, and we started to build a relationship. And I shot a match with you guys and did a couple other things. And then they were always talking about, you know, it would be so cool if, you know, and I had been to Red October 2 years, and I thought, dude, why aren't there AK only events happening all over the freaking country? There's got to be more people out there that love this platform. And here's Mike and Lan making guns that are going, you know, to France and beating the world in the hands of Josh Freilich, just like doing spectacular things with a Kalashnikov platform. And they would talk about, you know, it would be cool to do a big match down here. And, you know, I'll never forget it, man. We were all drinking beer at a brat. It was a beers and brat barbecue thing at a buddy of ours that had a gun shop. And guys, you remember, we're all drinking beers, and there was we're sitting around a fire. And I remember telling Tony, man, it would be cool if we did like an AK event here, like camping, prizes, vendors, like the match, everything that's cool about going to an event. We should all pack that in together, like on top of a match, and sell tickets, because we had been doing small things up until that point. Our Christmas event, 4th of July events, and we sort of kept drinking, and the idea started to sound really good.
The best answers are always at the bottom of the next beer.
Dude, we were totally batting this idea back and forth over beers, and we finally said, you know what? Mike and Lan obviously are more than capable of hosting a spectacular match. They could handle that part. Tony and I, you know, I had the big social media platform. I could get the word out about this thing, and we started to build a relationship with vendors. So we said, shit, if we could put some asses in seats and have there be something that everyone can do, general admission just for people that might be a little intimidated by a match but still want to come out and party, another ticket for people that want to come out and just, you know, go to the races party. And dude, that's totally how it was born. We started checking out ranges, found our first range. It was terrifying the first time we did Kalash Bash. We learned a lot, and now we're working on our 4th year, and it's been a long freaking road, but it's been a fun one.
Well, congratulations on your 4th year, and I know it just snowballs each and every year. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and more popular. And like you said, Klay, you know, you were kind of wondering why there's not more of these, but there's more of them popping up now. You're starting to see more and more of the, AK-specific competitions and shooting events. And yours is an event. You know, you guys have you put on an event. It's not just a shooting competition. Where I've been to a lot of 3-gun competitions and things like that, and you know that's just what they are. They're set up for the shooters and designed for the shooters to do that. But your event is set up for, like you said, the non-shooter that can come and maybe they're just a little hesitant, maybe about wanting to get involved with it. But there's so much more to do there for those people. I mean, you can go around and you can watch the shooters, or you got these tents set up with all these different vendors, and then the vendors themselves have some range things set up to where you can go and, you know, they got like little mini competitions and they give away prizes and things like that. So you don't have to be in the main competition to actually walk away fulfilled with, you know, not only shooting the latest and greatest in the in the AK market, or I hadn't seen any ARs out there, but you know, the Galils and you know, com block style guns, and the fact that people actually dress up, you know, you don't see that in any, you know, AR black gun competition. You know, it's an event, it's fun, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that you guys are doing that, because it has the Kalash Bash and what you guys have been doing has gone a long way in propelling the AK into more modern mainstream. And because of that, we're seeing a lot of modernization, like you guys have done with the AK-12, with the Vepers and those type guns. You know, the AK-47. You know, you got companies like Occam Defense Solutions, Brian, you know, one of our sponsors, and the company that Fuller used to work for. And then Fuller started his new one in Arizona, so he's got a whole new thing. And, you know, it's just everything is just becoming more and more modern with the AK now, and I absolutely love it, because, you know, there's the diehard AK fans that believe that it shouldn't be touched. You know, they've got the Kalashnikov mentality that you're going to hell if you know, change the safety or you put a different brake on it or something like that. But then you got, you know, people like me that I like changing shit and putting shit on my gun, and you know, that got me into AKs, to be honest with you, because I'm an AR guy. I like all guns. I'm a gun guy. Let's just face it. But I just never was into the AKs until I saw that you could, you know, oh, there's a rail system now that I can do with it, and you know, the accuracy that is improving on the AK. You know, the myth about how shitty they shoot, you know, it's just not true, especially with today's technology and the new barrels and things that people are coming out with. So, yeah, you guys have done a lot to propel that and make that happen, and thank you for that.
We appreciated having you out, and glad you came out. And I think all of this would not be possible if there wasn't a huge subculture that wanted to go to something like this. Guys like Neil, guys and girls of all ages, shapes, colors, ethnicities, everything. Yeah. It's a very eclectic crew, and without that subculture, you know, this kind of thing wouldn't happen. So
yeah, and that's the point also about the firearms community and how diverse we are, and we're not the good old redneck Bubba network that they make us out to be, the leftists make us out to be. It's quite the opposite of that. We're probably the most diverse, the most welcoming industry that there is, and it really shows when you go to one of these AK events. You know, it really shows there. And like I said, everybody is having a great time. I didn't see any egos out there, you know, other than a couple of the shooters, but everybody's still having a good time, you know, talking their trash and all that. That's what shooters are going to do. But, you know, everybody in the peanut gallery like me, you know, just hooting and hollering and having a good time. And the things that you guys do after, too, you have like a big bonfire and, you know, cookout, and it continues after the event, too, to build the camaraderie and the community. And I think it's awesome. You guys do a really good job with it. So
yeah,
go ahead.
The thing about that, you know, guys like some of us here on this podcast, we get the rare opportunity to go to things like SHOT Show, NRA, you know, get to mingle with people in the industry. A lot of people will never get that opportunity. So, you know, with the whole campsite and the big party afterwards, you will see everyone from the high-end competition shooters to the neckbeards that just want to wear their Hawaiian shirts and their balaclavas, and the vendors, and everyone's drinking and partying together. It's like that after party that's really hard to get into. Only here, everyone's invited, and it's heavily encouraged to go mingle and get to bump elbows with people that you probably never would get the chance to.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. So
on that same note,
yeah,
on that same note too, though, like I don't know if you guys knew this, but one of the guys that came down, he did his bachelor party at Kalash Bash. Like, that's how much of a party it was. Like, I found this out after. Like, I saw him the last day when we were throwing out prizes. And then I was like, hey, oh shit, how you been? He's like, oh, I've had a fucking great time. And I was like, cool, I gotta go. And like, that was the only time I saw him because he was just so busy. And he wasn't a shooter. Like, he didn't shoot at all. He just showed up and had a great time. So like, even if you don't want to do shoot competition and you want to come do cool AK things, like Kalash Bash is a great opportunity.
Have your bachelor party there. Why not? That's
Had our
awesome.
first proposal last year.
So,
Yeah,
there was
that's
a
one of the
proposal.
unique things about Kalash Bash is it's kind of like the two sides, but at the same time they're not completely separate. Meaning that there's a legit AK competition going on. There's non-competitive shooting opportunities. There's a whole nother, so like for instance, this last year it had swelled to 280 shooters in the competition, and then over 500 people, I believe, on the range just checking out vendors. Enjoying side shoots, non-competitive shooting opportunities, we call them, and then just like the vendor interaction is quite deep at Kalash Bash, which is unique in the action shooting events in general, because we shoot a ton of 3-gun, some other competitions, and the vendors get some play, but honestly very little play because there's no one at those ranges that's not shooting the competition. There may be a few people, like some wives or some kids, some local people that will come out to view the competition, but they're not really there to buy stuff. Mm-hmm. As where Kalash Bash, this last year, over 750 people there for vendors to interact with directly and then to hang out with. And then, that having that connection with your customers is something that, it's hard to duplicate without actually doing it and being involved, because having social media presence, doing different things like that, it's not the same as actually being out there and meeting the people, and then having those so many different things going on that everybody can kind of get in where they fit in, so to speak. And then that's it's been an evolution from the first year, the format exactly, and then into the second, third, and now the fourth year. We've been trying to tweak that, being able to bring more people in the range, more people in the competition itself, and that's I think this year we're gonna, hopefully hit the perfect balance between all those, and we're looking to have our the best event yet. So
gonna have 1K, baby. 1K this.
So for our listeners, where can they go and get more information about the Kalash Bash, or if they want to register? Is it full up yet? Is it sold out yet?
So right now we're doing pre-reg. Tickets go on sale May 1st, the first day of next month. So yeah, May 1st. You can go pre-register right now, and basically what pre-registration does, you'll get alerted about half a day in advance to buy a ticket before anyone that does not pre-register. So if you want early access, you need to go pre-register and keep an eye out for that email. We are probably going to cap tickets around 1,000 people this year. As Mike and Lan said, we had around 750 last year, and we try to step it up in increments to what we can handle.
Yeah, that's smart.
So I can tell you, if you want to shoot the match, you have to pre-register. You have to be quick. It sells out extremely fast. Mike and Lan have done such a great job of theming this event to not only inspire people, because it is an AK thing, so a lot of the stages are, they do have that niche theme to them, but they're also extremely challenging. And this year we're bumping it up 3 more stages, so it's 8 stages in total. You're shooting for 2 days, as well as going to the event. Those tickets sell extremely fast, so do not wait. If you want to shoot the match, you got to act fast the day they go live. So I would get pre-registered. You can go to KalashBashTX.com. It's all there. And if you search YouTube, we have every year professionally filmed and edited. Online, you can literally just search Kalash Bash Texas. You'll find the videos. There's a lot of coverage that should answer any question anyone has.
Very good. Very good. So I want to do this because I know a lot of our listeners have questions, and I think the majority of them are dealing with Kalash Bash. So I'm going to go to Instagram. If you guys have social media, you want to pull up the Instagram post that I did, you go to Talking Lead's Instagram, and we're on Facebook also. I've got some questions on the Facebook as well.
I remember what my question was. I actually left a question on the Instagram post, if you want to start off with that one.
Okay, we'll do that. Let me find it.
I remember that one.
All right. Here's our first question from Klay KO-47. It says, my fave question, what's everyone's favorite crime? You want to elaborate on that?
It's funny. I just wrote a huge check to the IRS today.
I bet you did.
That's quite funny.
Yeah, I was busting my ass to get mine in a couple of weeks ago. What's your favorite crime, Klay?
Shooting other people's illegal machine guns. Because I would never do.
I like that. What about you? Is it the taxes? Is that yours, Neil?
Yeah, paying taxes is. I mean, that's skirt. I don't want to get myself in trouble by omission, but I mean, it's yes,
paying taxes is a crime. So I mean, it's a legal crime.
Right. I mean, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now.
Yeah, but you can make a statement. That's fine.
Yeah.
What about you, Lan?
Yeah, I just wrote a tax check,
For business partners.
pretty good size tax check. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with fucking taxes.
Canadians fire.
There's your support for Ukraine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
$80 million. They're going to send another $80 million worth of stuff. I heard they were sending, I don't know how many Stinger missiles. It was like $100 million of Javelin missiles.
Which is like 6 javelins.
It's like, it's 561.79 javelins. Because they cost about $178,000 per.
Oh.
Well, if we're going to print money, let's at least buy shit from ourselves, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's fair. It's better than printing money and buying shit from other people.
Tandem Dooley asks, where is the line drawn on what is an AK for Kalash Bash? I know a Galil is kosher. See what I did there? But what about a SIG 553R or 556R or a CMMG Mutant? Would those be acceptable to run as well?
This is a great...
No. So those are not AK actions. I cannot take an AK fire control group and put it in any one of those. As where with the Galil, it does take an AK fire control group. You can figure out, or a lot of people will there'll be discussions on where the line's at, but for me and for the rules that we're using at Kalash Bash, it needs to be able to be a true AK variant, not just an AK magazine. So we have 2 guns up here. We have it at SIG 553 on the top there, and a Bren 2S.
Bren, nice.
They're awesome guns, but
VZ58s are allowed.
Yeah. They're great guns, but they're not AKs. Even if they take a 760x39 AK magazine, there's, we have to.
What about a VZ58?
What's that?
What about a VZ58?
A VZ58. Because
that's a question on here somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not an AK, to be completely honest with you. But at the same time, there's been some discussion in the background about potentially allowing some type of com block division. But we already fill up so fast, and what happens is you dilute your event, in my opinion, by just adding more divisions, and then just letting guys show up with gamer guns. If it's just an AR that takes a 7.62x39 magazine, or one of this Bren 2S up here, which is you can't keep diluting it. At some point, you have to draw the line. So the VZ58, although we do own some, we do like them. It's still not an AK.
So would you say the line is that the AK firing group is the deciding factor?
That's correct. So we have a PCC division, so pistol caliber carbine division, and there's multiple. There's the AKV from Palmetto State. You have the NAC-9 from Century Arms, sponsor here on the show, and then the KR-9 from Kalashnikov USA. There are a few other things that could potentially get in there, but all those, each of those guns do take the AK fire control group, and are AK style actions. So
very cool. Let's see, Bailey.
Yeah, we let a few other things off depending on the situation. So if you reach out to us, if you're in the event, we could talk about it. O'Neill had the belt fed out PKM.
Is there a machine gun division this year?
That's a question. That's one of the questions.
I mean, it was briefly discussed, right?
Yeah. So
very briefly discussed, Neil. Very briefly discussed.
Very briefly.
Not this
we
year.
are going to allow certain things for certain shooters or those that are capable of it. We do allow machine guns for those that get approval prior to actually using them. The thing is we don't allow just straight up mag dumping. If you are going to shoot more than 2 shots per target, your shots do need to go through the target, not just in between targets and carrying up the range and sticks and so forth. So we do allow you to kind of shoot aggressively, but all that aggression has to be into targets and not just wherever.
Yeah, we got to be accountable for the rounds, so they have to go into the berms and not anywhere uprange.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just want to let you guys know this real quick. I've got a thunderstorm rolling in.
Okay.
So I may lose power, just so you know.
Okay.
But just let you know what's going on. All right.
And also to pile on what Mike Lamb was saying about it, just because you have access to shoot a machine gun and they give you permission, do not think that that's going to give you a competitive advantage.
No.
At all. Every time I've shot a match with a machine gun, it has hurt my scores significantly, but fuck, it's fun.
But there are opportunities to shoot a machine gun at the event because some of the vendors have those set up. The IWI had the GEVs set up last year. I was running those. Right. I was helping run those a little bit. But, yeah, so there'll be an opportunity for you to shoot them on the side, but not in the competition.
Yeah, a lot of people get their full auto cherries popped at KB.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, next question. The Joker 6981. Let's see. How do I read this? See it stuff like this that makes me wish I still lived in Texas. I guess the only question I have, because I still don't have an AK, well, you need to get an AK, is what would be a decent low-cost first AK purchase? Or maybe a build kit would be better so I can slowly buy and build like the AR I'm almost finished with. What's your suggestions?
Yeah.
Well,
so as far as kit, unfortunately, the AK market's quite shifted a lot in the last 2-3 years, and this is even more since kits were first brought into the country. The whole AK kit thing is just that ship sailed. They're not in any large quantities anymore. There's already been, over the last several decades, there's been 3 major, import waves, obviously stuff in between that. But the idea that you're going to pick up some virgin sweet kit, I mean, there are some available, but as far as like highly sought after kits and so forth, that at any reasonable prices, that ship sailed. So you can still, if you find a good one, buy it potentially, have a quality builder build it up for you, potentially take a class or something and be able to build it yourself. But that's
still
not
going to cost you more than going out and buying like a Century Arms, their Visca or their BFT or even
right.
Pioneer Arms. I don't know. Are they still importing Pioneer Arms? It's a lower end.
So they're building. I was at their booth at SHOT Show. They definitely have some affordable entry level AKs. There's
I've got one over there.
$1,000 to spend. Yeah, if you get $1,000 to spend, you can get a decent AK that has a huge aftermarket support. If you want to go Yugo pattern or AKM pattern, there's definitely some stuff out there that's available. They're almost too much to list. For me though, man, I've become a huge fan of the current Zastava M70. I see them at gun shows for $900. I'm a huge fan of those. So for me, I'm brand new to AKs. That's probably what I would get. Just beware of the aftermarket. It's not as strong as AKMs.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, Yugos are going to have some different part fitment. You're going to need to make sure you get Yugo specific parts when you order them. But you have domestic manufacturers like Kalashnikov USA online now.
Yep.
Palmetto State's doing a lot domestically built AK platforms with really nice barrels in them. There is still an import market, but it's just becoming slimmer and slimmer. And with current administration and other pressures related to just worldwide production, and anything in the United States is as big of a market as we think we are. We're still nothing compared to the military market worldwide, and having to neuter the guns before they're brought in, or it's really difficult to import rifles, so they have to be brought in as pistols quite often. And so it's getting more and more difficult. Most manufacturers, if they're smart, they're looking to be able to have a domestic manufacturing capability, at least bringing it online, because you never know when that door is going to be completely closed. And it's an unfortunate thing, but that's kind of what we're dealing with. But as far as it is, there's a lot of AK options out there, to be completely honest with you. But as far as, budget and price, those things are quite difficult to cross quality and low cost these days, unfortunately.
Yeah. Buy you a Yugo there, or base model or something, and then soup it up, aftermarket parts. Yeah. A little bit here, a little bit there, as your money becomes available. BCM 350, is there a particular 7.62 by 3.9 round or bullet weight that is more effective at longer range targets out of an AK?
Neil?
I shoot 124 everything for my 47s, and I've been able to consistently shoot past 500 with that. But you're looking at full size IPSC. This is not a sub MOA round.
Right.
That's as close as I've gotten. Have anybody else tried anything heavier? Or
honestly, it's slim pickings. So I'm kind of with
Defiant's got some really good 7.62 ammo.
Yeah, there's not a ton of match grade options out there, and from my experience, those that have shot and try to do groups with domestically produced like Hornady rounds, or even other, just because it's a brass case 7.62 by 39 ammunition, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be more accurate in any way. And then there's a pretty narrow availability on the actual projectiles themselves, unless you were to load your own and so forth. But like Neil alluded to, it's a military round. Most of the ammunition that we're getting is military grade ammunition with a good trigger, a good optic, or a good iron sights. And with a quality shooter, you should be able to absolutely, though, consistently hit targets that are,
my lights are flashing.
Man-sized targets out to 500 yards,
Yeah. I'd still say, most modern AKs are more accurate than the average shooter shooting.
Yeah, it's usually the ability to mount an optic, to be able to see the optic correctly, and then be able to manage the trigger that's in the gun. So it's not that the barrel and the cartridge isn't capable of. It's typically the shooter that lacks the ability to manage the platform.
That may be an unpopular opinion,
but bringing in ergonomics into the AK,
like truth.
Bringing in quality stocks, quality triggers, low mounted optics, and so forth. All of those things, longer handguards to keep the barrels off of barricades and so forth. All of those things increase the perception of the accuracy, because you're able to get more out of the platform with that.
Like how he phrased that, the perception of your accuracy.
Perception of your accuracy. BCM 350. He's got a lot of questions on here, but here's one here. It's specifically for Lan. It says, how long will Lan let his hair grow?
Ooh, I've been wondering the same thing.
I don't know. I really haven't cut it for about 2.5 years now, so let's see.
There's a tornado in my area, guys, so I'm getting all kinds of warnings here. People are texting me. So I may just get sucked out of my roof, but we're gonna keep going as long as we got connections here. But by the way, Lan, my hair used to be that long.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. Yeah, I let it grow out, and I'd cut it and donate it. And I did it like 4 times in a row. I'm thinking about doing it again, so I may catch you. I may catch up with you here.
What's the minimum length to donate? Doesn't it have to be a certain length?
12 inches.
12 inches?
Yeah.
That's what she's saying.
That's size queen, baby. Size queen. Armus Bravus wants to know, will there be a taco truck?
I'd say there's a good chance of that.
Tacos are always good.
There'll be mini trucks.
Can't go wrong with a taco truck.
Yeah, with that many people, there'll be several food options, and so I can imagine tacos being one of them.
And we will even have food being served at the campsite this year. Another added bonus for you campers.
Very nice. You're gonna roast a pig?
I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
What we have,
all right.
kind of.
I guessed it, didn't I? Next question. Sick Nartini. He's got several questions here. Should I trade in my old Yugo InPap from Century for a new Zastava USA AK?
No. Always keep all guns.
Yeah, don't sell guns.
Don't trade it.
I learned
Just buy
lesson
it.
the real hard way.
The new Z-Paps are so cheap. It's literally one of the cheapest options. Just buy one.
Yeah, he's right. We do happen to carry those guys.
There you go. Give your website.
That's right.
Give your website.
Oh, dissidentarms.com. Under brands, you can see everything we carry.
There you go. Let's see. I think I hear the tornado.
Oh, man.
All right, let's
I'm
do
back.
a couple of more and then give away the prizes. I really probably need to, like I said, there's a major-ass storm going on right now. AKM Archer. Can't wait to see you all there again this year. Honestly, my favorite weekend of the year. Are you going to make it this year? Occam Defense Solutions. Brian's not on the show today. Lefty, are you competing with me and P-Man? Who's in charge of designing Talking Lead Speedos for the competition? So many questions. So I may, depending on if my hip gets better. If it's good in time, I will do that. Who's the, this is P-Man 301. Who was the weirdest attendee at Kalash Bash? Maybe the most unique dress. Maybe that's what he's asking. I don't know.
And it's almost hard to pick.
There's a lot
There's
of
a lot of interesting people that show up.
There's a lot of characters there.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I know who I picked. He actually works for you guys, Mike and Lan.
Who's that?
So he took last place overall in the competition.
But he looked good, apparently, huh?
You got the Goon Award, wasn't it? Wasn't it the Goon Award or something like that?
He won last place overall, so he got a customized leather chest rig with balaclava. He won something else. I don't remember what else he won, but his attitude.
Suppressor.
That's right. His energy level rivaled anyone I've ever met at any Kalash Bash ever. So if it's good to be weird, dude, he was probably the weirdest one to come out. He was cool.
He got rewarded for it too, sounds like.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
The young dude that works for us, he's been working for us probably for like a little over 2 years now. But we've been introducing him to competitions and brought him out to Kalash Bash, him and his brother. So they enjoyed it quite a bit. But yeah, I was like the Spirit Award or something. I forgot. It was for me last place.
Yeah.
Last place. Okay. All right. But yeah, he'll be back with that suppressor and that chest rig this year. So.
Let's I was gonna ask, so talk about you do awards. You do awards at the end of the event. Talk about that, the awards ceremony.
Well, we for 3 years in a row, it's gone up to, I think even year one we had like $40,000 worth of stuff on the table. Last year it was almost 60 grand. Basically what we do is, and I'll let Mike and Lan get into it as well, but when we sign on vendors, we basically require them to give way more prizes than any kind of cash contribution just to help overhead costs. So the prize table is stacked.
Yeah.
We don't really make vendors pay for much at all. So we want everything to go back to the attendees. It's it's about a 50-50 split. Half of everything you see on that prize table is totally given away at random, or we have special awards. We have a best LARP award, so costume, a Kalash Bash spirit animal, and so on.
And there's some really nice prizes. There's
yeah.
guns and cans and all kinds
Everything.
of cool stuff.
We've given away so many guns I couldn't even list them all. Ammo, gear, a metric ton of optics, all kinds of stuff. But we also do something very special for the people that win the match, based on division.
And we are giving away an optic today too from Primary Arms. I forgot. Don't let me forget that.
Yeah, their Primary Arms are local to us. They've sponsored, I think, each of the last 3 events, and I'm sure they'll be back this year.
Yep.
The interesting thing is that most of the events that we attend are typically strict competitions. The prize table is usually done in order of finish, and then at some point in time, certain things may be given away in a random nature or in some type of raffle or this and that. But with Kalash Bash, when they're being 2 different sides of the event, we want to make sure that we do recognize those that accomplished shooters, those that travel and spend the time and ammunition and travel expenses to be good shooters and to come to our competition. So we do have a definite order of finish, first through third, in each of the divisions. We recognize that. And then we usually make sure we carve out some nice prizes for those particular order of finish awards. But then a very large portion of the prizes themselves are utilized to make sure that those that are not in the competition have access to them. So if you make it through the gate at Kalash Bash, you get a tag with a unique number on it, and that unique number can get you into a ton of random draw style things. There's also a lot of opportunities as far as last year we had the AK 3-gun challenge, kind of almost like these carnival style shooting.
I shot that. Yeah, it was fun.
Challenges to where we gave away. If you participated in it, each one of your tickets would go into a random draw for that firearm that was shot, and then those that were in the competition would come over and shoot it on a different ticket, so that they were actually, since they're heavy competitors, that was an order of finish style giveaway on that particular prize. So the one thing that we do is we make sure that each and every prize generously given to our event is distributed to those that they're intended for, which is not Klay, not myself, not Lan, not Tony, but to those that are out there. And we do that. And then we do recognize, like I was saying, order of finish for the competition. And then a ton of opportunities for anybody that makes it into the gate to potentially win, many prizes. And those range all the way from full firearms, all the way down to suppressors.
The support from our vendors and sponsors, it's so generous that we're able to equally distribute through performance-based prizes and random draw prizes. And so anybody who comes has a chance to win something, which is, at matches, you have to perform well to do it. At our event, it's just come in and have some fun through the weekend, and you'll take some cool shit home, possibly.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I like about it. As like I said, you don't have to be in the competition to actually bring home some cool shit. I mean, you could bring home a gun. Just for going and having fun.
A full chance to win something at random. Even the guys, you could win the match and still win something at random because you still bought your own ticket.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. This question is from Bo McCowan on Facebook. Says, can we get a KL or KS12 side stage this year? Any scoop on soon to be out Galil aftermarket parts? Anything new coming out from Dissident Arms?
I'm laughing because Bo's one of our good friends, and he owns a KL12, and he owns a Galil from us too. So it's just funny.
So this year the first year of KB we did an 8-stage competition, and then there was the general admission side of the event also. Year 2, I'm trying to remember the exact format of the stages, but and then last year, the third year, we did a 5-stage competition, and those that were in the competition on their off schedule could come over to the 360 bay, and we had 3 AK challenges. And so you could use provided guns and ammunition to essentially shoot an additional 3 stages, back, getting back to roughly 8 different stages. This year, the 4th year, after having doing a survey at the exit of last year's event, there's a lot of guys that just want to shoot, want more shooting, and want the competition to be a little bit more challenging and to have the stages a bit longer. And so what we've done this year is we're going to do an 8-stage competition. It can be shot all day Friday or in an AM PM schedule on Saturday and Sunday. Cool. The only other way to get into our shooting competition is to RO at our event. We are going to have generous RO packages this year, and ROs will be shooting on Thursday. The 360 bay this year, which is where Dissident Arms will be set up. I'm sure that somebody's going to come on as a heavy sponsor, but we're going to in that 360 bay. But we're going to do a AK shoot house this year, and so the shoot house you'll have to sign up online. It'll be an add-on to your competition event. So if you sign up for the competition, those that sign up for the competition will have first access to the shoot house. Is the way we're going to do it. And then if the shoot house squads do not completely fill up from competitors, then the additional slots will be open to general admission. Guns and ammunition will be provided. I would suspect that there will be shotguns, slugs, slug shooting in the shoot house, along with SBRs of different vendors and sponsors. I
bet there'll be a Galil. I bet a Galil will be there.
Oh yeah. IWI Galils will be in there. There'll be probably basically some of the sweetest AKs, completely tricked out, all the way from shotguns, PCCs, rifles.
Yeah. That'll sell out.
It'll be. Yeah, you'll be able to squad up on that, but the guns and ammunition will be provided. That way, we don't have guys just walking around with guns all over the entire range. So.
So here's one from Bruner, 1981. He says, what's everyone's favorite piece of gear to collect for AKs and why? Surplus mags, surplus pouches, furniture, sets, ?
The guns themselves.
I was going to say, yeah, the gun.
Mags. I mean, honestly, mags are pretty cool. Yeah. There's such a large variety.
I would say that's probably, the most collected, I guess, would be the magazines.
Man, I've built up a huge collection of surplus chest rigs lately. With Chinese chest rigs alone, all the different types, there's probably half a dozen Type 81s, Type 56s, quite a few Davronov chest rigs. I just really like gear based around the AK. I've got chest rigs coming out of my ears. All the mag pouches, all of the stripper clip pouches that come with SKSs. I got a closet full of that stuff that I never use, but I just can't get enough of it.
Just stockpiling it just in case, because you never know. You just never know. Here's that VZ58 question. PNW Lead Slinger. If I bring a VZ58, will I be shunned or accepted at Kalash Bash? I think we answered that.
We may carve out some type of comblog division at some point, but it's not really a high priority right now with the level of attendance we have.
Bird Brain Industries asked, he was the one asking, should there be a full auto division? And I think we addressed that too. No is the answer.
There may not be a straight division. What we will possibly is have some those that sign up for the division and then request afterwards, and then we can approve you or not approve you with shooting full auto. It's a safety concern, and those that run the event we're responsible for every round downrange. A single round goes over the berm. Believe me, we will be taking a photograph of your driver's license and writing the direction and caliber and serial number of the firearm as it goes over the berm. So it's important not to send one over the berm, and those that do not know how to shoot full auto are likely going to send one over the berm.
I mean, it's one of the rules. You have to be accountable for every round.
That's right.
So you got to know where it goes.
Yeah,
that's one of the major firearm rules, isn't it? You are accountable for every bullet. I got a question here from Eric Lindsay. He says, how have those 60-round quad stack mags been working? So I got some American Tactical, the Schmeiser. Is that how you say that? Last year, and I've ran them a few times. I would say I've not run them more than 6 times. And are you guys familiar with these mags?
I am. I mean,
I've not had good luck with them.
I haven't used them.
You haven't used them?
You haven't? Is that what you said?
I have used them.
Yeah.
I haven't had good luck with them.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate thing is that I'm not saying it's not possible, but there's a lot going on there. It seems to me like in competition, reliability is everything. So like one malfunction, unless it's literally like a half second, you can fix it, ruins your entire match. So if you just rock mags, 30-round mags, not even 40s, reload on the move, and never have a malfunction, you're going to be way ahead than that one time that you have to completely drop your mag. It shits all over the place. Then you're going, unexpectedly having to go to your belt. I don't even shoot drum mags in like D60s and 3-gun anymore. Just because, that one time it fucked me is not worth it.
It's quicker to reload than to deal with a malfunction.
Yeah, reloads are the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
So, like for instance, on the shoot house, it'll probably be a 27-round shoot house, and you'll get a 30-round mag with a 30-round backup. So unless you shoot accurately, you'll be having to do a reload, which right there, unless it's on the move, then you'll be eating up some time.
Right. So Eric, to answer your question, not reliable at this point. I mean, I think they're getting close to getting them right. But at this point in time, I would much rather do a reload, do 2 30-round mags than one of these 60-round. Your life depends on it too. You're talking about competition, but your life depends on a gun running smooth and proficient as well. So, I would say no to these at this point, just because of the malfunctions that I've had with them, the feed issues. So, all right, sorry, go ahead. I wanted to get that done before I forgot.
I think there's too many good RPK mags out there that are dead on balls reliable. 45 rounders, 40 rounders, and 50 and even 75 rounders that are all very reliable. All com block too if you stick with imports.
Another thing too, you look at Surefire did those quad stack mags, and they gave up on that years ago, and that's government money coming in trying to figure out that problem. They couldn't do it. So
it's just the feed. They just can't get it to feed right. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you got 4 geometries coming up. Like that's a lot of
math.
That's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of math.
Yeah,
and friction and.
I think they need to throw more triangle designs in there. That'll fix it. Triangles fix everything.
Mags.
Clayco. This is from Ryan Reisner. Do you know him?
Maybe.
Says, what is your favorite karaoke genre?
Ooh, that's a good question. He must stalk me. I would say like 80s, probably like 80s club music. So like Rick James, Talking Heads, stuff like that.
Rick James, bitch.
Dude, if I'm drunk.
Give us some. Give us a lick right quick.
Some James.
Give us some Rick James.
Like I said, if I'm drunk and the moon is just right, Rick James will come out.
I got you.
You follow his Instagram long enough, the mood gets right a few times a week.
It does.
Here's another one for Clay. This is Clayco. Shane Solomon. You know Shane?
I know Shane.
Okay. Says, I really like the look of your Z-Pap M70 with the surplus handguards and J-Mac folding stock. Is that the factory 16-inch barrel, or did you have it cut down to 14 pin weld the J-Mac?
That was a gun that I borrowed. That was just a factory 16-inch gun with a standard 14-inch 14-millimeter thread, so I just threaded on a J-Mac brake. That was all factory. Had to take all that stuff off and give it right back to him.
You're like, damn it. Did any of you guys jump on the social media to look at any of the questions? Was there the one there particular that you saw that you'd like to field?
There was one I don't think we fully covered having to do a Kalash Bash from Isum87. It says, I've never been to a competition, but would love to attend Kalash Bash. Can a competition rookie like me compete? What's required to compete? I get that question on social media all the time about competition shooting. So,
okay, good question.
I think that
You need a gun, you need a way to store your mags, and then you need to sign up.
Yeah.
And show up. That's it.
Yeah, we highly encourage those that do plan on shooting, this match. If you're able to find one local to you in any way, shape, or form, it's a good idea to try to get at least some trigger time with some range commands at some type of local competition. Now, obviously, I know that's not always possible with rifles, but even if USPSA, you can take a PCC out there now. So there's a lot of USPSA events, all over the nation. You can take PCCs to those. But if you're able to not make a major competition your very first competition, then that helps, but it's absolutely not required. We'll have friendly ROs. We'll do the best we can to have good range commands and help out those that are new. But at the same time, if you're able to be familiar with your rifle, familiar with range commands, that helps out tremendously, and it just makes you more comfortable.
Have a good zero and know where your rifle hits at 100 yards as well.
That's right.
With those two things,
You guys zero your guns before
like
match?
that, you can get through anything. What's that, Clay?
You guys actually zero your guns before the match?
don't do it on the clock. Who does that?
Our
That's what the first stage is for.
Non-zeroed rifle.
That's
We'll
right.
get the Kalash Bash and they're like, do you have anywhere I can zero my gun? There's like probably 100 people will ask that question. I'm like, no, man. Like, what?
We may try to find a zero bay, but know that if you do have to zero at the match, it's not going to be an ideal zero. It'll be probably a 25-yard or something like that. But know your rifle, know where it hits and stuff like that. Other than that, come out with a good attitude, an open mind, and we can pretty much get you through the match, man.
There you go. And I asked this from another question from another guy, from Bo McCowan, and I don't know, this may be the same guy, BMC350. I bet he's the same guy. He wants to know what's new coming from Dissident Arms. What you got new?
We're working on a couple of new projects. I mean, we've got an actual stamped in-shop Dissident Arms branded AK coming out soon, so we're working on that. Oh, he gone. Oh, no, you're back.
I'm sharing my screen.
Gotcha.
I went to your website. I was going to see if there's something I needed to pull up while you're talking about it.
No, that's not there yet. This is all brand new stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right now we do a ton of work on shotguns and shotgun builds. We're manufacturer of AK shotguns. But the rifle, a lot of people requested rifle work from us, but we've turned that work away over time because we've focused mainly on shotguns. This year we're finally fully staffed. We've added gunsmiths and have a lot deeper crew now, and so we're wanting to bring rifles on as part of our offerings. So we will be bringing to market a stamped AK rifle in 7.62 x 39 and in 5.56. They'll be kind of our general formula, meaning that they'll be completely raced out. They'll come with all the very best parts in the industry, plus those that we manufacture ourselves and others that we use from guys that other vendors that have quality parts. But that, we won't do huge numbers in them, but at the same time, that's kind of not our formula. But yeah, be on the lookout for a stamped AK from Dissident Arms. And also we're making we've been working on the AK PCCs for some time, but that's a big push for us this year. The 9mm platform AK, they're just stupid soft shooting, stupid reliable. And we finally have a fully well-developed line of parts for the AK 9mm. Yeah, there's some of them are right there. So that's another huge thing for us right now.
Yeah, incredibly reliable guns. I mean, we had a demo gun out there last weekend. I think it went through 198 or 192 shooters. Not one hiccup. I mean, it was eating some dirt ammo and all sorts of stuff. So
We introduced the AK platform to a lot of
Nice.
guys that own no AK at all. So they're total AR guys. And then so they get introduced to the AK typically from us through a shotgun or a 9mm. And then now that they see us being involved with AK competitions, a lot of them have reached out to us about our Galil Ace builds, which are also quite popular. But then we just really wanted to bring one of our own AKs to market. So we'll be building those up from 80% receivers, again, in 5.56 and in 7.62 by 39 this year.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Can't wait for those. I mean, you guys do art. You're artists. These things are absolutely beautiful.
Well, it's like function first, then form. You know, I mean, we want our shit to look cool, but it's gotta work. I mean, for us, it's about how fast you can operate it, in the most reliable, that balance between reliability and racing. You know, so
Yeah.
and then you got to look good kicking people's ass.
that's right. That's right.
Got to put your own little flair to it, right?
Dude, I always think about it like Top Fuel dragsters. You know, they've all got awesome liveries and, you know, sponsors. And I always think that these super outlandish, crazy race guns, they honestly remind me of like NASCARs and Top Fuel dragsters. Just the crazier they look, the better. It totally fits the theme. It's like they said, it's like F1 at that level.
Yeah.
It almost makes sense to have a super sick, wild paint job like that.
That's right. And you know, that's our background again, is, you know, the competition side of things. And so, you know, we like it. So we let people choose on the majority of our firearms in the elite model. You get to pick your own color. You can upgrade to camos and other candy schemes. But, you know, letting the customer pick their configuration and pick their colors really helps. Yeah. So that's a KS12 11.78-inch shotgun right there. So we kept that one rock and lock, so it still takes Sega style mags.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful works of art. So you guys go to their website, dissidentarms.com. You can check out all their firearms there. Love it. Is that a Mission First Tactical stock? That stock?
It is. Those two guns went to the movie Training Day. It's a
No, it went to a movie that's going to be released it's going to be released on Netflix, I think, later this year, called Day Shift. It's with Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg's in it.
Snoop Dogg.
A couple other people are in it. Yeah. So look, those will be on the big screen here later this year too.
Nice. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Like, it may look like a shotgun,
But
but it's
hopefully
actually
the actors won't pull him out like Baldwin.
Well, no, hopefully not. But it actually on the movie poster, I think it has like wooden stakes on the side of it, like it shoots stakes and shit. I think that's
is
funny.
this a vampire movie? Probably gonna be like a vampire movie. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, sweet. All right, let's do some giveaways. How about that? Let's do some giveaways. So, we've got a Seal 1 CLP Complete Gun Care Kit Plus that we're going to be giving away from Seal 1. You go to seal1.com, use the code LEADHEAD, get 25% off. This stuff is great for corrosion protection. So great for you AK owners that shoot that corrosive ammo. This will be perfect for you. But any firearm cleaning in general, Seal 1 is great. You guys ever use this? I can send you some if you're interested.
I've not used that before.
Well, make sure I get your info and I'll send you some. Send you guys some of this. So let's pick a winner for this. I'll go through here. Any of the questions that I asked stand out? That I've already asked. We still got tons that I haven't asked, but
says it's stuck in the webpage. Our webpage is still up. I didn't know if you wanted us to remind you to go back.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Good call.
I thought I heard you say something like that.
I did, because I was sitting there holding this up and nobody could see it because of the screenshot.
Yeah.
So here it is.
Okay.
Good job.
Yeah.
Seal 1. I like it. I like it when you listen. That's awesome. So do you guys have a pick in mind?
Being from Arizona, I got to go with Armas Bravas and the taco truck question because we're fat kids out here and we like tacos.
Very good. I love tacos. And what's his name?
On Instagram, it's Armas_Bravas.
Okay, there he is. Armas Bravas. And this goes for anybody who's winning something. Email me, talkingled@gmail.com. Let me know what you won in this episode. And, of course, I'll need your contact info to be able to send it to you. So this goes for everybody who wins today. So email, talkingled@gmail.com. Armas Bravas, you won the Seal 1 Complete Gun Care Kit, CLP. Very cool. Next prize, we've got, you guys are giving away some awesome prizes. We got Dissident Arms is going to be giving away, I think that's why I left up the thing, because I wanted to show that website for what you guys are going to be doing. Talk about what you're giving away today.
So with the AK safety, something that, operating without some kind of extension on it is definitely a slower way of disengaging the safety and getting on the trigger. And so we manufacture a aluminum safety extension. We call it our race safety extension, and it allows you to operate the safety with your strong hand without removing your hand from the grip whatsoever. Those that are right-handed operate it with their top of their hand, so to speak, and then those that are left-handed operate it actually with their thumb. So you just tune the safety slightly lighter on the detent, and then those that are left-handed can operate it with their thumb. It's super fast, and you can install it on the safety that's currently on your gun. So there's no need, as long as you have a proper safety engagement on your trigger, then basically you just add this to the safety that you have, and you're good to go. So.
Okay. And do you guys want to pick the winner for that?
The first one, we're going to give out 5 of them.
Oh,
the
wow.
First one,
okay.
I want the Joker 6981 to have one, because he's the guy that doesn't have an AK, but I know how I am with gun parts, and if I have one part, I got to build a gun.
You're the devil. You're evil. I love it.
There you go, Joker. Good job, buddy.
Joker 6981. You won one of the AK race safety extensions from Dissident Arms. Nice. Next one.
Who do you want? All right. Klay, you pick your winner next, so I can take a look at your down.
First, we're giving away 5 third pin threads, AK outline hats of various colors.
Here we go.
Let's see. See, I got one there.
Where are the lids? Under lids. Here we go.
Yeah.
So we got 5 third pin hats.
Colors.
We'll do Esom.
That's the one you got on right there.
Yeah, the tangerine, the lime, that neon yellow is my favorite. So I think the first one should go to a Peeman 301. He wanted to know who was the weirdest attendee at Kalash Bash, and he had a couple people definitely second that. I thought that was a great question.
Absolutely. So P-Man, email me. You won the hat, one of the third pin hats.
And they're one size fits all. So
he's got a big melon too, so he'll need the biggest you got. All right, there's one hat you're going to give away. Did you find your other winner for the safety?
Tongue for Twisting. He's asked a lot of questions, so he looks like he was wanted to be involved, and we like that.
Awesome. I mean, participation, that's what it's all about. Our listeners, they will participate. So Tongue for Twisting, the Dissident Arms race safety extension. All right, we'll go back to another hat. We'll go back. We'll just play ping pong here. We'll go back and forth.
I think the next one should go to AKM Archer with his question about can't wait to go this year. It's his favorite weekend of the year, and how he really wants Occam Defense and Lefty to come this year. And he's also really looking forward to those Talking Lead Speedos that we
oh, Lord. Don't encourage him.
Earlier,
Don't encourage
him. Get paid.
Okay. So, AKM Archer, you have won a lid from Third Pin. Email me. Let's let Neil pick one.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Pick the next pin safety or safety extension.
Well, I mean, once I write my book that Lefty keeps thinking I have, then I'll have something to give away. But
yeah. For some reason, I thought you wrote a book. You need to.
I should, but I definitely haven't written one yet.
You start on your next boat trip.
It was bad. Like last time I was on here, everyone's like giving away books, and I was like, I got nothing. I'm an accountant. Sorry, guys.
Maybe it's a book you read from somebody else. You can give it away.
Can we gift things to people whose questions we didn't ask?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everybody's eligible. I just we don't have time to go through everybody's. And Facebook and Instagram. And if you guys reposted this and you got questions on your sites too, those are eligible.
I had one on here. I'm trying to figure out who it was. Here we go. Ryan Reisner on Instagram was, what's the best AK setup to be competitive at Kalash Bash? It's the one you bring, because that's the one you're most familiar with. So I'll answer that question real quick before we give them something.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, whatever gun you're comfortable with. Like I've shot heavy, I've shot light, I've shot belt feds. It's all a good time. Like whatever you want to, whatever you can bang with, bring it.
Sweet. Just not full auto.
Yes, don't do that. I honestly would not recommend it if you had it, honestly, because it's really expensive, really fast.
That's going to be a disadvantage too.
Yeah.
Very cool. So that was, what was his name? Ryan Reisner?
Yes, sir. On Instagram.
On Instagram. There you go. So that was for the extension, safety extension. So is that 4 of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, or is that 3?
I don't know. I lost count. I was going back and forth. So you guys started, and then we went to Klay, and then we went to you, and then we went to Klay.
And then you went to Neil, so that is 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
3. There you go. Let's go back. Let's do a hat. Let's do another hat.
All right. I've got Mustang Perry. We actually didn't answer his question, but it was a good KB question. Mustang Perry said, what has been the most impressive thing you've ever seen at Kalash Bash?
Interesting.
I think there's a tie. Both happened last year. Number 1 was Neil shooting the entire match with a belt-fed PKM. That was pretty freaking impressive. And the other flip side would probably be the borderline rave that broke out at the campsite at the DJ booth. That was totally not intentional, and it was awesome to see that pop off. So it's a tie between those, and I can't pick, but he definitely gets a hat.
Very cool. Mustang Perry, you win a 3rd pin hat. All right. Do you guys have another one for the safety extension?
How about Eric Lindsay? Or is that a double one?
I don't think he's won anything yet.
Facebook. Okay, good. There you go. Eric Lindsay from Facebook.
Oh, okay. You're on Facebook. Gotcha. Eric.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was the one that asked the 60-round quad stack. Okay.
That's right. Yep.
Very cool. So, Eric, you won the Dissident Arms safety extension race. Safety extension. And are we hat? This 4?
Oh, yes, this is hat number 4. I like Esum_87. He asked a few questions. The one in particular, I think we brought it up. He said he's never been to a competition but would love to attend KB. Can a competition rookie like me compete? What is required to compete? I think we kind of talked about earlier just the bare minimum. Mm-hmm. But good attitude, a gun, a way to hold mags, zero your gun, but just the willingness to get out there and not be scared and just do it. I think a lot of people have a hard time getting past that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are intimidated. There's nothing to be intimidated. This is actually a great match to have as your first match because it's not that intimidating. I think you should get a hat for that.
Okay. Very good. Now, also keep in mind, I've got a 10-pack of U.S. Palm mags to give away. And then we're also giving away from Mission First Tactical. That's why I was asking you if that was a Mission First Tactical buttstock. They're one of our sponsors. They make these awesome dump trays. I think I'm sharing my screen still, aren't I?
Yep.
Let me stop.
There you go.
They make these awesome dump trays that are good for just dumping your pockets out at night, putting everything on there. Or I use them for my gunsmithing. So when I'm cleaning my guns or taking stuff apart, guns apart, I put them in there. And this ink is injected in there. So that's not on the top. It's not on the surface. That's in there. That's not going to be scratching off. So we're going to be giving away one of these as well to a lucky listener. And if you guys would like one of these, let me know, and I'll send one to you too. Just as a thank you for being on the show. From Mission First Tactical. So we got one more safety and one more hat. Is that right?
Yep.
And then a 10-pack
Yeah,
and this. All right, go next. Who wants to go?
So I got a question here from Gordon.
Gordon Lightfoot?
Over Holter. He asked if we were gonna. Well, what is the most common pistols used by AK fanboys? But the question I want to get to is, will Kalash Bash feature any stages involving pistol shooting? And that's going to be a negative. But you get a safety extension for asking that question.
For being brave enough to ask.
That's right.
Yeah.
I like it. Who was it? Gordon
Overholzer.
Okay. So
If you want to shoot a pistol, come shoot 3-gun.
That's
You
right.
can shoot AK shotgun, AK rifle, and a Makarov if you want to be that guy.
There you go.
That's right.
Or
There
go
you go,
visit
the
one of the
Makarov.
vendor booths. You could visit one of the vendor booths and shoot them there.
Yeah, that's actually, yes, that's correct.
All right. Last hat.
Last hat's got to go to a question that we didn't answer. I think it's a good one to end on that we can all chime in on. This is Bailey Mueller 80.
Okay.
Bailey Mueller 80. What's next for Kalash Bash and similar events? Are there any plans to expand to more places, or is it more fun for the AK community to make the pilgrimage to Texas each year? I know Mike and Lan are doing a Falling Steel challenge every month here locally. So if you want to see those guys and shoot with them, they're always doing something. We do our little Christmas event, Kalashmash, in December. That may or may not continue to be a thing. But as far as expanding to other events, I know I lie awake at night, thinking about what's the next event. I want to do something that AR guys are welcome to come to. I want to do events all year long. That's really my end goal. Problem is, everyone at this table has day jobs and families, and KB takes a big chunk of our lives to do. So if it doesn't drive us crazy, I know we definitely want to do other things. But what I'll leave you with is, you really don't need us to do anything else. There's 6 other huge AK events going on in this country throughout the entire year. Just to name a few: Red October, Kalashnikon, Thunder on the Tundra, Red October East Coast. There's Palmetto State's Armory, AK Masters. There's a ton happening all over the country. And that's honestly what I'd rather. I like seeing that. I like other people doing that all across the country, different times of the year, where you don't have to drive. Right, you don't have to drive all the way to Kalash Bash and hope that we do it 4 times a year, as much as I would love to. But if you do, I'm telling you, we have guys that will carpool for miles and drive 2 days to get here, and that's kind of part of the fun. But other things are happening elsewhere, and we support all those events, and I'm glad that they're all happening.
Yeah, and our good buddy Ken Allen Trailing, they put on one up in his neck of the woods too.
October.
Is it Kalashtober? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that's what he calls it. It's like a AK-based training event.
Yeah, I'm getting them all mixed up in my head right now. But yeah, Ken's been on several times. Leadheads are familiar with Ken. He's a good dude. We just had him on, and we talked about ballistics. He's been doing some testing in shooting ballistics in different building materials and recording the data, and it was a pretty interesting show. All right, so who was that? He wins the last hat?
I believe it was Bailey Mueller.
Okay.
80.
Very good. All right, and then the tray. I think I want to give the tray to, I saw him on here. He asked, where is he at? Is it the Ping Golfer? I think Ping Golfer 71 on Instagram. What is the minimal length barrel a 7.62 should be shot from for maximum performance? After hearing Ken Allen talk about how effective the 7.62 is against vehicles, it makes me ponder the length of a decent AK truck gun. Thanks. So, I mean, if you're going to do a truck gun, do the short barrel. You don't want a full length in your truck. I mean, of course, they do have the folding stuff too, but anytime the longer the barrel, the more accurate it's going to be. you're gonna get better performance out
This
of it.
barrel with the folding stock would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe-
and 7.62 by 3.9, as Angel of Verdun says, magic starts to happen around 10.5 inches. So that's a really good gun.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's 60 by 39. It lends itself to some shorter barrels than a 5.56 does. So you're good with anything honestly with the 7.62 by 39. That's in the short realm.
So the great thing about this is you can custom print on these.
Okay, so you upload your image or what?
You can upload your image and they'll print anything that you want on them.
All right.
They can do that with their holsters. They can do it with their magazines. They don't have AK mags yet, but they have AR. They've got really good AR mags. So you can get stuff printed on your magazines. It's all at Mission First Tactical. Use the code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 20% off. If you guys are interested in doing something, let me know and I'll hook you up with. I'll get you in touch with them.
That's good. Thanks.
Yeah. This is awesome stuff. All right, and then the mags, the 10-pack of mags of U.S. Palm mags, which I don't have one handy. They're all back there. Everybody knows what a U.S. Palm mag looks like. So.
Yep.
I'm going to go to Facebook for this winner, and I'm going to go with Shane Solomon. And Shane asked, I love the show, Lefty. I look forward to every episode and love what you guys are doing. Do you think you can do another episode with Niels Gravelius? Yes, we have been trying to get Niels back on. He's like a savant with Eastern Bloc, Com Block weapons. We did one with him on the Valmet. Very, very interesting. He knows a lot about the Valmet. So there you go, Shane. You have won the 10-pack of U.S. Palm mags. All you winners, shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com. Let me know what you won. Reference this episode, and we'll need your contact info. And then I'll just forward it on to you guys, and then you can send it on to our winners. So there we go. Great episode. I appreciate you guys taking the time to be on. Klay, Lan, Mike, Neil, it's been awesome. Did we cover everything that you wanted to cover? Is there anything else you want to say about Kalash Bash or Dissident Arms or crabbing?
Oh yeah, the bullpup.
Yeah, let's see the
You missed the whole.
Oh wait, yeah, we got to talk about the bullpup. Yeah,
awesome.
So this was one of the reasons why I wanted to have Neil on. So
when did it start its life as, Neil?
So this is a Romanian kit build that Mario Lee Armory did for me. And then this chassis is actually built here locally in Phoenix. It's CBRS, I want to say.
Yeah, hold it up. We want gun porn.
So it reminds me a lot of the Starship Trooper rifle. What's cool about this specifically is I wanted a kit that I didn't have to butcher a gun that I could never revert back to being a normal AK if I really hated this thing, which I'm still on the line if I hate it or love it. You can't use the irons at all. They're still there, but you cannot get your face down low enough. It's really fickle with mags, but everyone's like, oh, you can't get mags in and out, So here's a different one. This one's been kind of blued. Index on the pistol grip. Rock in and you're good. Surprisingly, it works.
Which mags does it not work with?
It's fickle. It works with some Bakelites, doesn't like others. Works with some GI mags or surplus mags, doesn't work with others. Does not like polymer mags. So if you had this and you won that US Palm mags, you would not be able to use it in this gun. But it's awkward. It's weird. I love it.
16-inch barrel.
16-inch barrel. It has an integrated compensator, which is dubious in its design and function, but it makes a giant flash, which is kind of fun. This piece right here is actually also removable with more pick rail underneath. And then you have your standard fire control group and your safety in the rear. It comes with a little knob that was right here that's supposed to have been a safety. I didn't like it. It cut in my hand, and it worked about 30% of the time. So I was like, we'll just get rid of that and trust what's going on in the back here. But it's a typical AK, right? You index, rock, lock,
There's nothing typical about that.
and charge it just like you would normally.
Are you going to run that at Kalash Bash?
Yeah, Neil, you don't have a hair on your ass if you don't bring that.
I dare you.
I mean, this would be open, right?
Yeah.
Or,
I mean,
red,
if you're shooting iron sights.
red dot. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I'll just show up and turn money into noise and have a good time. That's kind of my MO now.
Is that a railed? Is that railed?
In the front it is. So there's a lot of this is manufactured out of, what's it called? I want to say Delrin. It's like some, you can kind of machine like a kind of a polymer.
Mm-hmm.
But this front end and this top rail is metal, but the rest of it's sort of a polymer aluminum mix.
I was gonna say you could get those irons that Occam makes. They make a really nice set of iron sights that go on Picatinny rail.
Yeah, I don't think this will get low enough. I have those on my Galil Gen 2 because they were on my Occam rifle, and I swapped them over when I did a red dot, and those irons are fantastic.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll be high enough for something like this, because even
Still
with
too
this,
low.
with EOTech, it's still like you're just there. You can't really get any.
Still at the top of the thing. Yeah.
Unity riser.
Yeah, yeah, Unity riser for irons.
So what did you name it?
I haven't named it yet because I haven't really decided on what iteration to keep it in.
So did you design that, or did the guy that you sent it to, you just like, here, put something together?
Oh yeah, it was a pre-existing chassis that they had that I think they probably made 4 or 5 of.
Oh, okay.
There's not many of them out there. I've never seen another one in person. I've saw the only other, like, even in videos and pictures, I've only seen their testing ones. So
you got to keep it just for that reason.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm thinking.
It's a
I just spray
unicorn,
paint
man.
it to make it like some Syrian summer, desert color, and then
You need to send it to Dissident and let them put their twist on it too.
I think they're a little better than that, because if that showed up at my shop, I'd be like, why?
This one customer had us put a Vepr magwell on a Kalashmash Sega 12, and we actually sorted out a lot of the issues with it, so to speak. But we made the Kalashmash Sega 12 take straight insert Vepr mags, and so
Unfortunately, that was one of our most.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but it's one of the biggest posts we've ever had, because bullpups just get weird. They get a lot of likes. It's just they're like drum mags and bullpups.
That's right.
They shouldn't really exist, but they do exist, and people love them.
They're unicorns, man. When people see them, they just go nuts. I love bullpups.
So you put a drum in a bullpup, so you're like your whole underneath your entire arm.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor. It's my drum mag. Well, very good. Thank you for reminding me about that. Yeah, I would have been kicking myself in the ass. We'd had to do a whole nother show just for the bullpup there, which we still may do. I don't know.
I'm sure I can find a couple other ones to demonstrate for everybody.
Very good. Very good. Guys, again, thank you so much for taking the time to be on. I know the Leadheads are going to enjoy this episode. Can't wait to get it out. Make sure you go and support those that sponsor this show. Century Arms, presenting sponsors of the Talking Lead podcast. We'll get them on soon. I know they got a lot of things that they want to update you guys on. Andrew, our good buddy Andrew, we'll probably get him on hopefully the next episode. But until then, go to their social medias, go to their website, and let them know how much you appreciate them stepping up and making this Season 4 possible for you Leadheads. Factory 47, you want to get our AK Corner logo, T-shirts, hoodies, the mug I've been drinking from tonight, and then their AK specialty apparel they have. They've got hats, pretty much any of the brands. They've got them there. AK, it's a Factory 47 with a K, FAKTORY47.com. Use the code LEADHEAD. You get 10% off at Factory 47. And, of course, our good buddies over at IWI US, Jeremy and the gang. I'm trying to get him on. We want to talk about some of their other kind of AK-ish weapons. We talked about the Galil. We talked about the Uzi. But I want to talk about their Tavors and their that new pistol that they've got. It's not the Jericho, is it? Is it the Jericho?
Masada.
The Masada, yes, the Masada. And
Cracker fire.
And they've got an AR. They've got an AR now. So we're trying to get Jeremy on to talk about those. But until then, go and inundate him with messages and emails and tell him to get his ass on here because we want to hear from him. Seal 1 for all your gun cleaning, complete gun care kit at Seal 1, CLP, green engineered, safe, non-toxic. This stuff smells good too. Sometimes I'll dab a little bit behind my ears there before I go out. But seal1.com, use the code LEADHEAD, and you're going to get 25% off at Seal 1. And Defiant Munitions. Boom, boom. You want to get some good quality ammo for any of your firearms. They've got 5.56, 223, 7.62 by 3.9, 308. We were talking about some 30-30s and different kind of ammos like that they're coming out with. Defiant Munitions, go to their website, use the code all caps LEADHEAD, and you're going to get 10% off there. One of our questions had to do with brass versus steel too. And did you guys want to address that with an AK, specifically the brass versus the steel?
Just use steel.
Yeah, I mean, so most likely it's gonna during the injection process it's gonna fuck up the brass anyway, and so unless I'm not sure why you were getting it unless you thought you were gonna reload it. It's not that it's gonna feed any better, and even some of the brass like imported stuff is actually corrosive. So I mean, it's not like it's not necessarily better just because it's brass.
Most AKs beat the shit out of
it. Yeah, AK is designed around a steel case ammunition, so there's really no reason not to shoot it.
And another question that I remember now that I wanted to ask you guys, I can't remember who asked it, but they were the 7.62 round itself, AK or like those CMMG mutants or an AR 7.62. Which platform do you think performs better with the 7.62 by 3.9 round?
Oh, a long stroke piston that was designed for.
That was designed around the round.
Yeah, exactly right. The 7.62 by 39. I don't know if it was the very first gun it was in, but I mean, they shot it out of the RPD, which is another type of long stroke piston. It's just it's a heavy round that is relatively soft shooting. And then that it's, the ammunition obviously is heavier when you carry it and so forth because of the weight of the bullet. But
sure.
The weight of that ammunition means a lot whenever your enemy's standing behind something.
Yeah.
So, it lends itself.
I'm sorry. I've had good success. I built a 7.62 AR just because I acquired a barrel. It's like you said, if you've got the part, then you're gonna do something with it. So I was like, I can't just let this barrel not be used. So I built an AR version of 7.62 by 3.9, and it's been doing really well. And I'm using brass out of it. Obviously, and that's a different, gas system and everything. So
and does that exact one take a real AK mag, or does it take one of the converted?
This is a AR converted AR mag. Yeah, it's not one of those mutants, one of those hybrid things. I've never shot one of those. Well, I won't say I've never shot one. I've never put like a lot of trigger time behind one of those.
The good thing about those is they don't go through extractors like a typical 7.62 AR upper that just uses a regular AR bolt. The post sample that we have goes through extractors. You can get like 7 mags through it, and then it'll shred the extractor. I think LMT and Colt make a really nice 7.62 by 3.9 bolt that won't do that, but that's one of the flaws unless you kind of beef it up to like a 308 bolt, like a AR-10, which is what CMMG does.
Yeah.
We love 7.62 by 39. It can absolutely be shot out of a lot of different platforms.
Look at that.
So,
yeah.
Mike, is that a standard AK mag?
This one actually is the CZ Red 7.62 by 39 mag. It's a straight insert, but it was a Haga Defense makes a lower for where you can do rock and lock AK mag straight into it.
Okay, that's why I was confused. I saw it. I was like, "There's no way he did that."
So this is their proprietary mag. It pushes straight in. This is the Brent 2S, which is the military version with a monolithic upper.
Beautiful.
The like French special forces use it in 7.62 by 39, but it's originally a 5.56 gun. Yep.
Nice.
This one also 7.62 by 39. Swiss.
Oh, you guys had one of those.
5.53R. That actually takes like almost any AK mag under the sun. Will fit in this gun right here. So yeah, 7.62 by 39 is an awesome round, but I mean, it's originally it can lend itself into a ton of different platforms, but I mean, it's obviously the original platform is still, in my opinion, the best one for that particular round.
Absolutely.
I got in a bad habit of collecting quite a few guns, 7.62 by 39, so we got a little bit of everything.
Dude, I gotta borrow that SIG. I had no clue you had one of those.
I think it's sick.
Yeah. For sure.
That is a moose rock, as they say.
All right, Redheads, go show our
39.
guests some love. Let them know how much you appreciate them being on this episode of the Talking Lead AK Corner, and maybe we'll be lucky enough to get them back on. Definitely, we should do like a recap after Kalash Bash and just do a follow up and talk about how well everything went, and hopefully I'll get to go. But again, give your contact info, your websites, all that real quick.
DissidentArms.com website. You can see us on social media, Instagram, Dissident Arms. Same thing with Facebook, Dissident Arms. So we're most active on Instagram.
Yep. And Clay?
You can find me on Klay KO-47, spelled with a K, on YouTube. Make a ton of AK content on there, and Instagram. And if you want to learn more about Kalash Bash, you can also find Kalash Bash on Instagram and Facebook, or go to the website, kalashbashtexas.com.
And Third Pin?
And Third Pin Threads, if you like AKs on your shirts and your hats. We put AKs on shirts and hats.
There you go. Very good. And you've got a deal on last year's Kalash Bash. You got a fire sale going on those T-shirts.
Yeah, if you actually didn't go, if you were a jabroni, didn't go, but you want a front that you did, we still have a few shirts left over on the website right now.
Very good. And Neil can be still found at the Combat Accountant on the grams for now.
That's correct.
We're going to change it to the Combat Crab Hunter. We'll come up with
that
something
one over a bit, but I'm leaning towards the Combat Crabbers. Like something with that, I think would be a good branding change.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sweet shirt with that theme going on right there. So yeah.
Have a crab with dual AKs or something.
A ping. There's possibilities are endless.
All right, Leadheads. Until the next episode of the AK Corner, get out there and shoot and enjoy your Second Amendment rights. Okay. Simmer down. I know that I didn't give away the primary arms optic like I said I was going to, but that's not true because I am giving it away. But you're going to have to earn this because this is a really nice optic, really nice prize put up by Primary Arms and our good buddy Ken Ross, who's been on the show several times. So I want to have a little fun with Ken, and you leadheads are going to help me do this. So I want you to go to his Instagram account, and his Instagram account is @crosstac, KROSSTAC. That's Ken Ross's Instagram account. It's his personal account. So I want you to go there. I want you to follow him. And then I want you to pick one of his posts that he's done. And in the comments section on that, I want you to do hashtag AK Corner. And that's corner with a K, not a C, guys. Talking Lead AK Corner. So hashtag AK Corner, hashtag Talking Lead, hashtag Ken Ross Boss. That's all I want you to put. Hashtag AK Corner, hashtag Talking Lead, hashtag Ken Ross Boss. KENROSSBOSS. But you got to follow him also, so make sure you follow him. And then I want you to take one of his posts, it could be that post or another one of his posts, and I want you to share it to your page, to your Instagram page. And then use those same hashtags, hashtag AK Corner, hashtag Talking Lead, hashtag Ken Ross Boss. And then I want you to tag us at Talking Lead, and then tag Ken at Crosstac, and then tag Primary Arms at Primary Arms Online is their Instagram account. Okay? So real simple, real easy to do. Got to put a little work into it, but this is a $370 optic, guys. It's a really nice optic. It's the Primary Arms GLX 2X Prism with the ACSS CQB M5762 by 39 reticle with their auto live. So it was really cool of Ken to put this up, really cool of Primary Arms to put this up. Want to have a little fun with Ken. You guys help me out, and the ones that do this to the T, you're going to be eligible to win it, and I'll make the announcement on the next Talking Lead AK Corner. So get busy, have fun, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Out.